Indian Premier League. Ritu, how are you doing? As always, I'm joined by our very own Katie, Head of Sports. How are you feeling today?
I'm doing very well, Fiza. How are you doing?
Very, very, very well. Five times champions, Mumbai Indians have finally won their first match this edition. One thing we were right about last night was one of them is going to win. And we were also right about Mumbai Indians winning. So, we were pretty right on, and the game wasn't as thrilling. So we were pretty spot on, I would say. We are getting better at it. What do you say?
I won't call it the game didn't get thrilling because if you look
In
at the
ending, yes,
yeah,
yes,
because if you look at the
yes.
scoreboard, it can be misleading. Like if you haven't seen the match
Yeah.
and you just saw the scoreboard later,
Yeah.
you will find the brief scores. Okay, I mean Mumbai Indians, they lost
Yeah.
just 4 wickets to
Yeah.
chase down that target of 172. So they won by 6 wickets. What's the big deal? But if you somehow, if you were traveling, like say you had a flight to catch, you missed the action, and there were
Yeah.
a lot that happened.
Yeah, in
Okay,
the
what
ending.
happened? That Mumbai Indians were cruising along, chasing that 172. Then they lost wickets. Delhi
Yes.
somehow managed to come back, and it happens
It happens.
when two teams are struggling. Both were struggling coming into the match. Both were still looking for their first win. So even though Mumbai were going along comfortably, chasing 172,
Yeah.
but those nervousness came up again in the last moment, and they almost blew it.
Almost.
Almost blew it.
For Mumbai Indians, the I think the man of the match was our very own Rohit Sharma, the skipper. He was finally, I think, after a very long time in form. We haven't seen him, the way he performed yesterday. What do you have to say about his comeback, sort of? If
Well, I mean, if you remember, I have spoken about Rohit Sharma's runs or lack of big runs
Yes.
during our live shows several times in the
Yeah.
last few days. I had always mentioned one thing that Rohit is not struggling for timing.
Yeah.
Rohit is not struggling for his rhythm.
Just
Rohit hasn't been able to. I mean, until yesterday,
Yeah.
until last night, he just wasn't able to convert his
Convert.
starts. Yeah, so he was getting good starts.
Yes.
He was playing actually too many shots. Then in one shot brings about his downfall. So that's what was happening. And last night, luckily, it clicked for him. And also maybe what may have helped was that the target wasn't so big.
Yeah,
It
170.
wasn't 190.
Yeah.
It wasn't 200.
Yes.
It was not 210. It was 170. A pretty good target
Yes.
to chase on a good batting wicket. So maybe and plus there is always this thing. No, the class player always comes back. So it was always a matter of time
When he comes
when
back.
he comes back. And good for Mumbai Indians. They got their first win. Good for them that they got their captain back among the runs, and that's a
Yes.
big positive for them.
101%. I agree with you. But what about Surya Kumar? Like, he's going through his drought phase. He doesn't look as confident as, he was. What do you think is going wrong there?
I think one of the great mysteries in sports is a batsman's form. Okay, in all sports, it's
I'm
not just
sorry.
yeah.
This is something we've been like. This is a topic we speak every day, and
Yeah.
it's so important.
Yeah, yeah. It's actually in no other sports you would see a particular athlete sometimes struggle so much. A particular athlete who has been on top of his game or top of her game for a long, long time. You won't see that as much as you see that in cricket, and especially with batsmen. I don't know why it doesn't happen that much with bowlers, but it happens with batsmen. You name them.
Yeah.
You name them the greatest of the players that have played in the history of the game. They all have had their moments when they didn't know how
What to
to
do.
put bat to ball.
Yes.
So it is quite surprising because batting, there are a lot of luck factors. Sometimes you get a very, and what happens is sometimes when you're going through a bad phase as a batsman, you get the most unplayable deliveries.
Yeah.
Like say in the whole innings, there will be one unplayable delivery bowled by the opposition team by all their bowlers, and
Yeah.
that has your name written on it, and you just happen to be going out of. I mean, having we were going through a very bad phase. So that also, when you are not getting runs, your mind doesn't think straight.
Yeah.
So when Surya Kumar Yadav came into bat, he had Rohit Sharma at the other end. Okay, so things were pretty much under control.
Yeah.
Okay, they were not chasing, like say the equation was not 10 runs and over.
Hmm.
The equation was, I think, something around 7 runs or 7.5 runs and over. So
Yeah.
things were very much in control. There was no need for him to go for that shot in his first ball, just that he had faced. But that's what happens when you're out of form. You don't think straight, and you end up making those mistakes. And he has been making those mistakes quite often now in the past 1 month. Not just in IPL, he made those mistakes in international cricket as well for India, and he made a sort of record. He became the first Indian batsman in history to get 3 golden ducks. My golden duck is what he did yesterday,
Hmm.
getting out to the first ball that you face. Okay, so that sort of lack of confidence that he is
Yeah.
going through, he's having severe confidence crisis now. And Ravi Shastri made a comment yesterday that it just he needs to be patient. He needs to have the patience to come out of this. So yesterday again he showed that he had that lack of
Yeah.
patience now. He was just because he was trying to maybe
Immediately.
get a few runs
Yeah.
out of
No.
his way. So that's what did him in.
No, I agree, and I honestly feel really bad from the way you're saying. And we, mention this almost every day now, that how important it is to understand that not every batsman can be in form every day or every month or every year. They have their own like journeys to victories. But coming to Delhi Capitals, this, as we again have spoken in the past, that this edition, even before it started, hasn't been great for them, and nothing seems to be working out for Warner and Co. Even after trying different combinations. For example, last night they tried two different overseas players, bowlers, and they still couldn't defend themselves to the score that they set. But again, as you said earlier, they did try their best. They did give Mumbai Indians a little hard time in the end and in the middle. But like, where do you think? Like, I don't even know where they're going wrong anymore. Because there are so many places. But I wouldn't. Okay, I'm not actually going to ask you where you think they went wrong this time. Where do you think they can improve for their next game?
Well, I think it's very simple. Where do they improve? They need
Yeah,
batsmen to score runs and take the burden off.
the bowlers.
Most importantly, before the bowlers could come into the scene, most importantly of David Warner, because he's the captain. And as again,
That's
he
true.
scored a half century, but he was struggling because
It was
he
not
has the whole
matching.
burden on him.
Yes.
Even though he's getting the runs, but he's scoring at a pace about 114, 114 point
Yes.
something. I mean, his strike rate is very low. That's because not, I won't blame him entirely, because the team struggles are on the back of his mind all the time when he's batting. He may be thinking that when he's batting, what if he gets out? What if he gets out
Then
and the
what's going to
team
happen?
gets an absolutely low score? So that must be bothering him all the time, because of which he's not able to play with freedom, the kind of freedom that he's famous for, with
Yeah.
which he plays. So that's, I think, their batsman, he needs support from the other batsmen, which is not happening. Axar Patel, he came in the middle order, and I think if he hadn't played that half century, I mean, the quick fire 54 of 25 or 26 balls that he played, they would have struggled to reach 172.
172.
So they've scored 172. I
Yeah.
mean, without Axar Patel's that cameo, that innings would not, that the target, I mean, the total would not have been possible. So then, obviously, Mumbai had things under control.
Yeah.
But then in the last over, they needed some 4 or 5 runs. So
4 runs.
even then, you would have thought, okay, the match is, it's Mumbai's drafts. But then Enrique Nortje,
Yeah.
one of the finest fast bowlers in
Yeah.
the game now. So I think he just showed what a class bowler he
Yes.
is, and it's very difficult when your team is under pressure, when you are under pressure, and the opposition team
And to perform.
hardly needs a few runs to beat you, and to come up and bowl those Yorkers.
Yeah.
So he was bang on target. He didn't give them any room to
Yeah.
play. So I mean, if say Mumbai had needed about 8 or 10 runs to win, even if with two proper batsmen in the middle, it could have gone either way. I mean, he tried his best. It
Yeah.
was brilliant bowling in the final over, brilliant death over bowling. but unfortunately, they didn't have enough score
Yeah.
for to support a bowler like him.
No, and I agree, like the last over, especially, it could have gone either ways. Delhi could have won, Mumbai could have won. It wasn't like a sure thing for Mumbai to win. Mumbai did struggle a lot at the end of it. They were like, I mean, for them, 4 runs shouldn't have been an issue.
True.
If as we say, they're the 5 time champions. But again, this edition has not been that great for them. But it shouldn't have been last 4 runs, 1 over. They could have, just
But
maybe.
what we had was another last ball thriller.
Yes.
Yeah, at the end it
Oh
became
my
a thriller.
God. Oh my God. It's the worst thing ever because for me, I'm like, but even I have some pressure on my head, okay? When I say Mumbai Indians is going to win and they're doing this, I am like, okay, tomorrow I have to face everybody and you. How will I do that? So there's a lot of pressure in my head too, guys. But, and even when there was like 2 runs, 2 balls, 3 runs, one, I was going crazy.
Yeah, they needed 2 runs of the final ball, and
I
again
was going crazy.
it was a pretty good delivery that
Yes.
was very difficult to put away. But I think it was Team David, so he managed to put it in an area where the fielders had to run to
Run.
collect the ball and throw it back to the bowler's end, and by then the batsman got those 2 runs luckily. Otherwise, if they had managed to get just 1 run, we would have got a super over.
Would you even call this like Mumbai's win? Or would you call it Delhi's loss?
Definitely Mumbai's win because you had because the way Norkia was bowling,
Yes, and you
so you
defended
needed
that.
a lot of composure,
Yes.
and I think Cameron Green and Team David both showed that actually, and they did that, and they didn't lose their wickets. If they had lost one wicket at that point, a new batsman, it would have become
to
even
start
more
again.
difficult to
Oh
put
God, yes.
Norkie away at that time. So
Hmm.
they kept their wickets intact. They got those 1 runs, 2 runs
Hmm.
here and there, and finally they managed to drag the team over the line. Very important win. Cameron Green is going to be a crucial player for the Mumbai
Mumbai
Indians,
Indians.
a very highly rated young all-rounder. So he didn't score that many runs because he didn't get to play that many balls. But him staying there till the end and helping the team get over the line,
Yeah.
that will give the team and him a lot of confidence.
It did, I believe. It did. And eventually it will, maybe. It's the Mumbai Indians have just won one match. We'll see if they, keep up this winnings. But also, guys, what do you now think, Ritu, for today's match? Rajasthan Royals versus Chennai Super Kings. We have our Mahi for Chennai. We have Moeen Ali. And on the other hand, we have Butler, who's on fire. Who do you think has a little bit of edge over the other one today?
Again, a very difficult one because both the teams are doing well.
Yes.
Chennai, they lost the first match to
Gujarat
Gujarat
Titans.
Titans, and they came back very well. And again, they would be playing at home today, which is
Yes.
again a massive advantage because I have never been to the Chepak in Chennai in an IPL, but I have been to Chennai to cover an India Australia test match in 2004. Amazing atmosphere. I remember even in a test match. The crowd in Chennai, the cricket crowd in Chennai is quite amazing. They're famous for their passion actually.
Yeah.
So and then they would be having their home team, an absolute legend in MS Dhoni, and a team that is doing well. So
Rajasthan Royals.
funny things happen in cricket. So
Yeah.
we end up having red fest next day with our predictions. So
Yeah.
it's you
I
you, you
swear.
you feel like going for this match with Chennai Super Kings, but
But
then
anything can
you
happen.
have also a player called Josh Butler that they have to deal with
Yes, it's not easy.
at Rajasthan Royals. And I think the good thing about Rajasthan Royals is that their bowling is clicking. They
Yes.
have got two hugely experienced world-class spinners in Chahal and Ashwin. And Trent Bolt, obviously, nothing needs to be said about him anymore.
Yeah.
And then the other good thing about Rajasthan Royals is that apart from Butler, you have this basis Sri Jaiswal.
Hmm.
Okay, he's the young opening batsman,
Hmm.
and they have a lot of faith in him, and he has played really well this season. He has given them flying starts in the last couple of matches. So him as a batting pair with Butler,
Very
that is
nice.
not only is going to give trouble and headache to the opposition captain, which
Hmm.
is MS Dhoni today. Not just about today's match, but if they continue with the same momentum, it's going to cause a lot of problem to a lot of teams
Lot
in
of
this
teams.
season.
I agree, but I just feel like I'm gonna go with MS Dhoni today because I have been a huge fan, to be very honest. Like, there's no feelings today, no strong feelings, just a little. When I was a little child, I mean, I used to, really like just support him ever since his long hair era. So I'm just gonna go with MS Dhoni. The fan in me is speaking, but thank you so much, Ritu. We will see you again tomorrow. That's it from us today and from the cricket world. This is Fiza Nattu with Ihab Kadir and Philip Matthew Grain signing off.